Hello viewers, in my previous jQuery video tutorials, I will explain the concepts of what is jQuery and the concepts of jQuery and the jQuery selectors and jQuery filters. Now, in this tutorial videos, I am going to explain event handlers in jQuery. Everybody knows that what is an event. Event is nothing but when we move a cursor into our HTML document, we can perform it will perform an event on the document. By using that mouse over mouse click, double click these events, we are going to perform some jQuery functions. To perform these event handlers by using the selectors and filters of jQuery, with the help of these selectors and filters, we can perform some actions, some event handlers on HTML document elements. Let's see, in these jQuery event handlers, we are going to explain three types. In that one, first one is binding and unbinding event handlers. Let's see what are those binding and unbinding event handlers. Here it is. These are the binding and unbinding event handlers. First one is binding. In this binding event handler, binding in that one, first function is event. Defines the event that you want to be bound to for each element in the selector's result set. Possible values are blur, focus, load, resize, scroll, unload, before, unload, click, double click, mouse down, mouse up, mouse move, mouse over, mouse out, mouse enter, mouse leave, change, select, submit, key down, key press, key up, error. Like these are the events of in binding method, in binding function. And another one is data optional. This means it defines a piece of data that will be passed to the handler function. When the event happens, the handler function is called. And then third one is handler. Specify the function that will handle the event. And then unbinding functions. First one is event. Defines the event that you want to be disconnected for each element in the selector result set. Handler. Specify the handler function that was defined to handle the events. Let's see in practical who can clearly understanding of working of these binding and unbinding event handlers. For this one, go into Visual Studio. Here for this jQuery event handlers, I am creating a one HTML. This is the designing part of the HTML web page. Here I am going in this body. I am created a one div tag with size. Let's see source. Here I created a div tag with ID, name is ID1 of class type normal. In that one, div tag contains a text jQuery event functions. Let's see the class property. Let's hear some cascading style sheets corresponding to this div tag is. For in normal class, I preferred a width and height 300 pixels and 300 pixels. Background color is aqua and the font weight is normal. For the here I created one more class property, the class CSS property highlight. In this one, I created a background color will be changed to yellow and the font weight will be bolder. For this one, we can observe the jQuery binding functions. Let's selecting $. Here I am going to select div tags with ID. Only a one div tag. For that one purpose, I would like to select a ID. ID1, ID with ID name ID1. In that one, in this one I am going to bind an action. Here we can observe clearly When I'm putting a dot and pressing bind, Visual Studio shows the matching functions. Selecting and put a cursor here, it shows the types, data and functions. I'm going to close it and I'm going to write one thing is mouse over. When mouse coming into the div tag, I will write a function. In this one I would like to call a function highlight. Here I am going to write the function for the corresponding highlight. Here I am going to declare highlight function highlight. In this event, in this binding function, every function has an variable event. Every function has a default variable. You can declare it as event. In this function we are like to go to right our code, that is hash. I'm going to select that div tag. In the div tag I'm going to toggle class. For this one, in order to execute that class value, toggle class of what we mentioned here, we can be placed that one here. Let's save it and observe in web browser. This is our, it's not working, please wait. Okay, what is the mistake? Yes, in my previous I am writing my function within this function, and also I am forgot to write mouse leave function also, and also I am not keeping the name of the id one is not correct. That's why I correct my mistakes here. And then I am also writing mouse leaving bind function is also same thing, and it also perform the same ones. And here I am writing mouse over and mouse leave, same binding functions. Let's see. Okay, view in web browser, here it can be loaded. When, let's see, observe it, when we moving to our mouse to this div tag, it will be changed that background color, and also the font size will be bolder. Let's observe it clearly. When the mouse leaving, it will be going to normal position. Let's observe it. I'm going to other unbinding functions. Okay, here I am going to write another event. For that one, as I am going to select id of div tag, id 1, and I am going to bind. Here I am going to write click event function. Click of function is highlight. It will show the suggested highlight. Wait a minute, I am not going to write that function. I am going to create a function. In that function I am going to place unbinding jQuery functions. For that one, here I am going to write function. Here I am going to copy this one and paste it. Here I am going to change it to unbind. That means completely opposite to the binding functions. And also for observation, for that one I am going to write selecting it. Here it is id1, and then I am changing that div tag text into another text by using html create jQuery selectors. html, here I am going to place that into a p tag. Here we can going to change h1 tag also. h1, this is clicked event. I'm going to close that h1 tag. Let's save it and open our web browser, press F5. When we are going to move mouse, it doesn't mouse, the previous action will be present. When we clicking on that one, it will be changed. Here when we clicking, that text will be changed to the div tag text will be changed to h1 tag, that is this is clicked event. It means here we are going to pass a h1 tag that contain a string. This is clicked event. These are the binding and unbinding jQuery event handlers. Thank you guys, thank you for watching.